All right, I'd like to bring the Town of Wappinger Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. Roll call, please, B.
Here.
Here.
Yes, here.
Here.
Here. All right, first order of business tonight would be acceptance of the minutes from October 11th, 2022. Everybody have a chance to read through those? Any
Yes.
comments, changes, revisions?
That's fine.
No, all good. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved. All right, next order of business tonight is appeal number 227763, Stephen Mazel, seeking an area variance, section 24037 of the district regulations in an R20 zoning district where no accessory structure is permitted in the front yard. The applicant is seeking a variance to allow for an 18 by 33 above-ground oval pool with a deck to be placed in their front yard. Where 35 feet to the front yard property line is required, the applicant can provide 3.9 feet for the installation of an 18-foot by 33-foot above-ground oval pool with deck, thus requesting a variance of 31.1 feet. The property is located at 16 Wendy Road and is identified as tax grid number 625801065 735 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved. Anybody here representing this application tonight? Please step forward to the mic and state your name and address for the record.
Yes, good evening. My name's Steve Mazzei. I live 12 Grandview Lane, New Paltz, New York.
For the board's benefit and anybody else listening in, just a brief description of what you need and why you need it.
My parents passed away, my mom passed away in June. I'm the trustee of the home. The home is for sale. It's contracted. It's supposed to close on Friday. We found out during the process of selling the home that the pool was not permitted. In the process of trying to get the pool permitted, it was discovered that there were 2 front yards in the pool due to it being a corner lot. And in the process of getting the survey done, it was discovered that the property lines were not where they were expected to be due to a strange offset of the road. I'm just trying to get a pool that's not trying to be built. It's a pool that's been in existence since 1989, just to be allowed to be left there so the house can be transacted. And, well, that's what I'm here for.
Gotcha, okay, so we were all out there on Saturday and saw what you got going on and the pool. Let me ask you a question. Has the fence been taken down yet?
No, the fence has not been taken down.
The fence is not done, and I'm assuming that the patio and the walkway has not been removed either.
We weren't asked to, so I didn't, no.
Right, so those are the items that are not on your property, right?
Correct,
Okay.
but with regarding the fencing, as you brought it up, I have a piece of paper that shows the town was aware of it and agreed to its location back in 2001.
So you agree
Didn't have
with-
that before.
Say that again?
I have a piece of paper.
This is new, a new
that-
document?
It is new to me too, because my neighbors are here and they provided this piece of paper. And it shows the town accepting the proposed location of the I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you mentioned it.
Well, it's best that you do.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to take a look at that. I mean, besides that, while they're reviewing that, like I said, we were there. A question for you, it just came up. The stairs on the pool,
Okay,
right, when you pull those, your pool right now, the corner of your pool is about 3.9 feet from your property line. Right?
Correct.
Right, so when you pull those stairs down, then the stairs are probably pretty close to being on the property or over the property line.
I don't think so because of the angle involved. The pool's at an angle, so the deck corner is right there, but the stairs come down. I don't
Gotcha.
think they're any closer, but
Now,
I didn't measure it.
Barbara, quick question for you. With the stairs being down, would the variance have to be to the steps or to the pool?
Well, the steps are structured, but this piece of paper is interesting also, because it's from 2000, it looks like.
One.
Is this
One?
01?
Yes.
Okay, you had a round pool there without a deck around it at the time.
That's
So
correct.
this
It's been there
pool-
since 1971.
So this is an oval pool now with a deck.
Correct.
So this pool came in then after '01.
No, this pool came in 1989. That survey just didn't show the pool didn't show it correctly. I have the paperwork showing the pool's build
This
date.
has a round pool with a deck on it.
That's just an incorrect picture.
That was based off of,
Ma'am, oh,
so our surveyor.
Ma'am?
You can't talk.
hold on one second. Go ahead.
You'll have a chance, everyone can speak in
Yeah.
a moment.
Well, wait, while they're looking at that too, I've got to find out, Barbara, if the stairs are down, would the variance need to be to the steps or to the pool?
To the steps.
To the steps. Okay, so that may be problematic then. Can those stairs be relocated to a different side of the pool?
They could be relocated further down the same wall, which brings it closer and further away from the property line.
Right.
Yes, that could
Right.
be done.
Because if we were to rule on this variance, right, the variance then wouldn't be accurate if we were going to the steps, right?
Okay.
So then that's one issue. Let them look up what they need to see.
Good question, look at the survey. It might be easier if you come up.
Sure.
With these stairs, is it a safe assumption that this is how the stairs gonna come down? Are they coming down to meet that portion of the kind of deck that's sticking out?
Yeah, they come down to me,
Is this line
just a
that's
little bit to
sticking out
this side of that, because they come off of that line, and they fall down, they're probably about, 18 inches from the pool?
So they're coming at the end here or further on the side?
18 inches from the pool at that spot, not at the end, at
Okay.
this spot.
Okay, so it kind of comes down in alignment with that kind of bump that's on the survey.
Give or take, yeah, that's right. That bump is actually a walkway, the stair was short of it.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that walkway was kind of jogged to accommodate this.
It is, that's what it is.
So we can figure out the-
Yes. That's it?
On the stairs. While I'm looking that up, do you guys have any other questions regarding the pool?
No, I think the pool, just as a comment, the pool was old, we discussed last week about the strength of the appearance of the pool being an old pool, and it appeared to be structurally sound
Yeah,
by the visual.
looking at it.
It's an extruded aluminum pool.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, it looks in pretty good shape for a
Yeah.
pool that was put there in '89, you said?
89.
89.
And the liner was only put in 2 years ago. So the liner's brand new. Okay, I'm in appeasement mode, and I'm trying to make this thing work. You were there, so you saw the layout of the land.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You saw that the town piece of property that's there is effectively a vestigial piece of property.
Right,
It's surrounded by myself, my neighbor here, literally right behind me, and there is permanent easement on their driveway.
yes.
Can't we just buy the land where the fence is, it moves the pool 10, 15 feet away from the property line, and makes the whole problem go away, and I'm willing to do it.
That would be a question for that guy with the
Because the
tie.
land is useless to you guys. It's surrounded by property on 3 sides, a permanent easement, and private property.
Yeah, I don't know how easily or expeditiously that could be done.
Expeditiously isn't a problem. If it can be agreed to, the house can close, and I'll pay the expenses. It'll be part of the contract.
Gotcha.
I don't care about timing, and I'll pay whatever it costs to do you have the surveys.
Right.
My
Yeah, we have the
survey.
survey.
I'm just trying to be amenable.
Is there anybody, while we're waiting for Barbara and Jim to look this stuff, is there anybody in the audience that is here to comment on this application? Oh, can you step, please, microphone and your name and address.
Hi, my name's Nicholas Koroxenos. I live in 17 Wendy Road, across the street from Steve Mazet. And I don't see the point, because we maintained the property there for so many years. I don't know, the town is gonna build anything there. My neighbor, he doesn't complain, next door.
Okay?
I don't understand what's the point. And the pool, I don't think it's on the front of the house, it's on the side.
Well, the way the
The
property
way
is,
the property is, the
Right, the-
front door, I can see the front door from
Correct.
my house. That's the front of the house.
it's one of those quirky
The pool
things.
is on the side.
Yeah, it's one of those quirky things in the town where how you,
I know,
how
but
you
they-
distinguish a front yard from a side
And
yard.
the town is
But
planning to do anything
te-
on that spot.
technically, his pool is in his front yard.
So I don't see the point.
The tough one to understand.
There's also two variances.
Excuse me?
There's two variances.
Two variances.
Two variances that he's looking to get.
Yeah, one is for the front yard, and the other one is for the setbacks.
Yeah.
So right now, we're looking at the setbacks.
Yeah, but
But
I
I
don't see.
understand what you're talking about with the front yard, because I just recently went through that myself.
Yeah, I see it every day. I don't think to me it's on the front of the house, it's on the side. And nobody's complaining. The neighbors, they're not saying anything, and the town, what, is gonna build
Gotcha.
anything there? I don't understand that.
There
We
would be-
maintained the property there for so many years. Nobody is building anything. I don't see the point, the man to move the fence.
Gotcha,
Nobody's passing by from there.
gotcha.
That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Have a good night. Anybody else in the audience? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Veronica O'Connell.
Hearing aid right here, just
She
'cause I
doesn't-
don't hear that great. I can't hear what you all saying, but I'm the guy who plows that driveway along that
And who you're
fence.
who?
Who are you?
My name is Ed O'Connell. I live at 21 Wendy Road,
Okay,
which is I'm at the end of the dead end. There probably should have been a cul-de-sac at one point, if you ask me, right?
gotcha.
So we've had a situation there for 20 years. Beautiful. The fence is beautiful. Unless you pull into his driveway, you can't see the pool with the fence there. I drive in my house every day. I've been there 20 years. It's not a problem for me. And I'm the one who's being infringed on, if you're talking about offset from me. I think it's a little cherry picking, and also I really think there's other houses in Wappingers with pools in the front yard. If I'm, down on River Road, I believe there's a built-in pool in front of a house,
It may be.
right? Am I right or wrong?
I have no
So
idea.
what, they landscape it, and that's good? If you landscape around it, you can have it in the front? I don't understand.
I don't know what's going on in River Road, but tonight that's irrelevant, right? So,
He said tonight that's irrelevant what's on River Road. My issue is more with the stockade fence too. The stockade fence, it was across the driveway when we originally moved in. That's the part with the round pool, that was probably from my surveyor, not his survey. What had happened was that the stockade fence was across that yard. When the building inspector came, said, yeah, to move it because we had to put the driveway there.
It was right
He,
on the survey.
he talked to Steve, he got Steve and Geraldine to sign that they were gonna move the fence. I mean, we even helped them move the fence. So, yeah, his father.
Gotcha.
So, the building department even told us where to put that fence. So we were like,
George Cole was there at the time.
so we were okay, he said, I'm gonna send it through. That was our septic map that I just gave him the parts of it.
I
That
tried
was
to
our
be as
septic map.
uninvasive as we could there.
Yeah, so we actually helped Steve move the fence where the building department told us to put it. And like they said, technically the road did go up to the brick wall. We made the agreement that we were going to put the driveway in, down to the road. That was the deal. That we built the driveway, we maintained it, and that strip of grass. So the strip of grass is on the other side of the fence. That was kind of the whole agreement to begin with. So that's what's always taken place there.
gotcha. You good?
And again, I think I'm the closest one, and I'm the only one who drives in there.
We kind of like the fence, to tell you the truth.
I like the fence.
Well, I thank you folks as well.
That's Steve.
Could I ask you guys a question real quick?
Sure.
When was your house built?
2004.
Thank you.
I don't think it was
That's all I wanted to know.
2001.
Thank
I
you.
think it was 2004.
Four.
We finished it in 2004.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
Your house is the one up on the hill, the gray
Yeah, the big
The
one.
straight,
looking house?
straight in, right?
Yeah, straight up to the top of the driveway.
Well, that looks like, not there originally.
All righty. Anything, Barbara or Jim?
So, just a couple of questions.
Sure.
As far as, somebody raised the issue of snow plowing, where does the town snow plow?
I'm sorry.
Does this town snow plow, where does the town deposit?
After we do our driveway, we still plow right into our driveway.
Yeah, come on up.
Just for everyone, we need you on the mic because this
That's
is
okay.
being
Yeah.
taped. That's why I asked you to wait before.
Okay, so what happens is the town stops at the edge of our driveway,
Okay.
which is
all
where the fire hydrant is. I don't know if you can see the fire hydrant.
Mm.
Usually we have to call because they bury the fire hydrant.
Okay.
Excuse me, no, one at a time, one at a time.
I'm cleaning the hydrant all the
Yeah,
time,
let-
that's not true.
We'll let these folks speak first, thanks.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
So
that's
they plow right to that fire hydrant,
what- Okay,
and then we have to dig ourselves out
So the
every
dead-
year.
The dead end would come down my driveway with the windrow, so I used to call Graham all the time, he'd come himself.
We got you,
So that was an issue too.
right.
But again, what is the status of this property? I've been taking care of it for 20 years, really. I mean, now you're gonna call shots on the side rights or lefts. I mean, I thought that shot calling was done already when I built my house there, really.
Yeah, it was like agreed that we were gonna maintain up till the fire hydrant, like our mailbox is at the fire hydrant.
All right, so the document these folks produced just a short while ago, does it
So
give them
it's,
permission?
it is a blow-up from a filed subdivision plat for Whitmer Construction Corp., and it was recorded in the Dutchess County Clerk's Office on 6/11/2001. So the original subdivision was,
I have the original survey to my house,
you know,
out in my car.
so
on it.
there was another subdivision that created the lot, which is the subject of the variance, and that was file map 3176, which is Wildwood Forest. And that original map showed a cul-de-sac, a temporary cul-de-sac at the end of Wendy Lane, where the pool is currently located. And that cul-de-sac said that it would be abandoned, temporary cul-de-sac, radius of 50 feet to be abandoned when road is extended. So at the time, you know, the subsequent subdivision was put in, and the driveway was added, that was abandoned.
So,
Because the subdivision plat for Whitmer Construction Corp. In 2001 does not show a cul-de-sac where the pool is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no cul-de-sac. Our driveway is
There's a
directly at the end
cul-de-sac on
of
the
the road.
side, there's an easement for a temporary, right, which,
Which is why the property was there, the property is no longer being used for anything.
But to
So-
me, knowing
Gotcha.
the elevation of the property, I don't see how that could be feasible right there.
So,
Well, it can't be now, because like,
No,
when the
ever.
road ends, our driveway is the road. There's no circular, even the mailman drives up my driveway and turns around. Yeah, there's nowhere, you can't
Yeah,
like
it's-
U-turn a vehicle.
Right.
No.
So-
It's the end of a road.
So the pool is located where the temporary cul-de-sac was drawn
let
on the
me
plan.
just,
at one time.
Yeah.
so,
So this is the subdivision that created the original lots. And this is the lot here, 98, so if you line it up, it's like this. Okay, and so what's happening is,
No, if you look, that's what it always looked like in the intent
Can I have that
to
up?
be, but it just never
It
was.
never was. That was
I
Malcolm,
looked
it was Malcolm Cornell.
so,
I looked at that map
so
already.
this is,
I know how to go online.
this was a temporary cul-de-sac to extend
There
it
was never a
into
cul-de-sac
this
there.
property.
What they're trying to say is.
So there was a
once this
subdivision of this
This
property
thing
in
was-
2001 that created
Yeah.
their house. This is just a blow up.
Because you
of the
can't
end
do-
of Wendy's Lane. So,
20 years ago.
So you,
her, the driveway
see,
we're talking
you have
about
to
is
understand
here.
the type.
which is
I
also
looked this up.
this.
Right.
So
I
here's
was
the
trying
fire
to get that
hydrant.
on after the session meeting, because they
So
haven't done
the
anything.
town maintenance ends
But because they're a
here,
government issue, I
and then
can't
this
do
is
that.
just their driveway.
But technically,
And then
that's what it is.
Within the right of way, there's some grass here.
Gotcha.
But, you know, it's owned by
And
the town.
the property line is this for that neighbor?
I tried that.
The property line is this. That's the
Okay.
setback.
No, I
That's
looked it
the
up.
setback. Okay.
So,
You basically,
but this is their property.
So they're accurate in saying that the road could never extend into anything.
Right, I mean, now it's,
Yeah,
and
it's a
I
dead
don't know
end.
what the,
that was the original building, they were going to do a cul-de-sac, but they never did it.
So they got the two houses on Woodland. One
And
was
that's what he's
existing,
saying, because technically, because it was never done, it was
and
abandoned.
another one that they,
There's no plans for any
these
storage.
people come back here,
So there's never
but they
been,
had time to let
even if it was plans and stuff,
So,
I can understand why they would still do it.
legitimately able to keep the fence on there?
you know, realistic, I mean, so one of the questions was, you know, if he's interested in
Never do anything with it, because you can't.
problem, basically.
No, we have a thing stuck on our door. No, we found the thing stuck on the door today.
Here's the right of way. So,
Yeah, no, there was a.
this actually shows the fence.
No, no, no. No, no. No, no, where's this? No, because they're trying to do everything on my driveway. And I'm like, no,
So the fence is, fence,
Yeah, it was, right, that's what was taken out.
that's what they're saying. They don't mind this,
as far as tonight is concerned, is the fence will make sure.
And here's,
trip on those steps.
Well, if we do that, we stipulate, the fence really isn't. We are discussing.
Well, I just,
here's the other issue.
I didn't know there was a green issue.
Well, I don't know.
Is that written on there?
No, no, just it says it.
Because they're saying there's an agreement.
No, it's a mover.
But it doesn't have a location where it was to be moved to.
Just says that they'll move it so they can put the driveway in. That's all.
Triangulate it, which is that, right? Therefore, it says like the move start the fence to allow the proposed driveway to be access to the south of the existing hydrant as shown on this plot. So what's this really telling me?
It's telling, all it's saying is that, which is what happened. They removed the stockade fence.
That's okay.
Well, no, you can see where the stockade
It
fence
was there
was.
in the middle.
This is the stockade fence was.
Somewhere in a driveway
It's
here.
here.
So
It's
remove it
this
like
fence
that.
here.
But that doesn't mean existing way of putting it. You should remove it, that's fine. We didn't say put it 10 feet away.
Yeah, I mean, the fence was moved here, you know, after this was put up.
But did we approve where to put the new fence? I don't think.
Well, we don't, I mean, the problem is we don't require fence permits.
That's not an agreement.
Right.
It's an agreement that they have to take it out of the
Right, exactly. That's okay. That's okay. But does not mean where it is now. We approved it.
No,
Now, is this the cul-de-sac easements for?
no, I think because of this subdivision, I mean, I think that's fine. So I don't think there's a cul-de-sac. The only thing is that, you know, the fence in the right of way, the fence is not, it's a bigger issue as the steps. But again, theoretically, you guys, this isn't on their property, so you, as the zoning board of appeals, have no jurisdiction to permit this to stay or not.
Yes, right, exactly.
The only thing you can do is say remove it in order to get it variance. Okay? You cannot permit it.
Yes, right. I don't think we have authority to say, okay, where it is.
So is there a mechanism for them to purchase that land? Because he had asked that.
The problem is that they potentially, the only problem is that realistically, what would happen is the property would actually be used as property. The reason why they can't own it is because this is access to this.
So the neighbor behind would have to buy the driveway and they would have to buy the property up to the driveway.
Between the driveway.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Yeah, more or less.
Like if this driveway was back here, it would be a different story.
Yes.
But the driveway comes out to here. So
But wait,
this is a.
I thought we said fire hydrant here, the town cleans of.
The fire hydrant's at the other corner
Oh,
there.
here.
Yeah.
Yes, then.
So the town ends
Right,
maintenance here.
Right.
So that whole rectangle there is town property. yeah.
So
This document basically tells them they have to remove the fence.
Yes, right.
what's your question?
So steps.
Yes. It's town, it's the town right.
Town right, not property.
So, yeah, I mean, it's town property, the town owns it. But, you know, so realistically, this is fine, because it's not, if the town ran this all the way back then, they have to maintain all that shit.
So fence liability, then town is not a fence liability. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
This area, if town owns it here only.
no, they own all this.
Oh, they do own it, so they have liability.
Those are papers.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the steps align with this little chunk of patio.
That is a hub there?
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a ladder that goes up and down?
But tomorrow we can put six. Yeah, I think that's what. Yes. Yes. Yeah. See how wide it becomes?
No, I don't think that's a, I don't think you have to refill it.
Yeah, right. Put some place close to this side.
I mean, like you see that, you see the path has this little notch in there, like, I think the steps line.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. Yes.
The trace that pulls all the way back here, right? So if it swings down, it hits that little temporary stone.
Yes, right.
So they need to put the steps down, there's a confirmation of the. Well, we have, yeah,
I think all we should say, remove the step on the side. Yeah, but he could put it here, right? Then we have to go.
Move this, you can get this off, then you're building new steps.
Yeah, that's all. But what should we do is build new steps and then just replace them?
That can be done. I mean, yeah, the platform is solid, stable. Yeah. So that can be achieved. The platform is solid, so it can be modified.
I think we should either ask them to move the steps or have them wait for the measurement.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's resume.
Howdy.
All right. It's warm in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gave us his next door neighbor. This is his property right here. This
Oh, this is the new
Remember?
document. Yeah.
This one isn't like a, it was designed. That's nothing to do with it. It's a question to remove.
Like this conversation?
He's claiming.
Yeah. But the discussion you just had? Yeah.
I think we need to get a ruling on the fence now.
Yeah. Jim, for the record, could you then reiterate what we just talked about as far as the document goes on the fence?
So with respect to the encroachments into the town right of way, the zoning board of appeals has no legal authority to permit those to exist. That would be a matter between the highway superintendent and the town board. So this board has no authority to permit the pavers and the fence to remain. So they have no legal authority to permit that. With respect to this survey that was provided, it shows that there's some pavers and a fence that is on the town property. As a town attorney, I'm concerned mostly with respect to the fact that it's a pool and people would be on town property in here, and if there's any injuries, particularly also with respect to the steps. So the steps up to the deck, it's a ladder that swings up and down, and it is very close to the property line. So my advice to the board would be, if it's considering granting the variance, would be to impose a condition to move the location of those steps further away from the property line. Also, with respect to the fence, which is on town property, my recommendation would be a condition to require moving that fence onto either the property line or into the applicant's property. Again, primarily because of, the potential liability. The applicant had indicated that he'd be willing to purchase the property here because it's at a dead end. The problem becomes, the problem with that is that the town right-of-way here provides access to the property at the rear of the neighbors. So that's their access to the property. So, in order to have to get a building permit under Town Law 280A, all properties in the town need to have access and frontage on a town highway. So that stretch there, coming up to the property in the rear, needs to remain as a town right-of-way. So that's, what I see here.
So as far as, as far as the applicant purchasing the property, is it feasible?
Because of the access issue,
No.
I do not believe so.
Okay, all right.
I mean, would that neighbor in the back not just then have to have an easement with the property owner?
No, they'd have to probably, I mean, it becomes complicated because of Town Law 280A. In a town, for emergency access issues, a property has to derive access from a public highway. And so here, what's our frontage requirement? Is it 50? I mean, what the problem becomes, this is the only frontage for that lot in the rear.
Yeah.
So if you eliminate that, then they don't have any frontage on the town highway.
Well, their frontage is on Whitmer Road. They just don't have
No, they
frontage on
don't.
the driveway.
Again, Town Law 280A requires access.
Correct. We wouldn't move that, we wouldn't change that. We just want, if we just owned to the fence from this point, and we could tear this down, and just own from this point on, past the edge of the driveway road, that's already gone. So now you're off-town property, we just need that piece seeded or sold right there, that little chunk. Road doesn't move, fence doesn't move, they've still got their border, they've got their right of way. This whole area is still access and also potential safety situation where they can get to the property from there.
The other issue is that's gonna require a subdivision application.
Yes, it will, but as long as we don't have to tear the pool down, I don't care, we'll do it.
I mean, again.
The cost of a subdivision application, I think, would be far greater than a new pool.
20-foot by 30-foot piece of land?
You'd have to prepare a,
What about an easement by prescription, the fact that land's been used there for 30-some odd years? On a government agency?
Right.
Yeah. How about common sense?
It doesn't apply here.
Common sense doesn't go, yeah, okay.
I think, as far as, the purchase goes, I mean, it would be a lengthy and probably very expensive process, is what we're getting at, so I don't really see that as an option. As far as the variances go, I don't have any more questions for the applicant. I think we've kind of run through things. I'm ready to render a decision if you guys are, and if there isn't any other comments from the public, I would move to close the public hearing. Anybody else in the audience? Come right back up.
When you were talking about the access from the easement to the property, I don't understand that, because this easement, if you take down this fence, this easement goes to my property to a brick wall. So it ends at that brick wall. My driveway starts at that brick wall, which is our property. So the easement would be our driveway. You couldn't get.
So.
Is that making sense? You'd
Sure.
have to go
I
into the
understand.
driveway to
Let
get to
me-
my property anyway, or you'd have to drive over a brick wall.
Let me just show you, if you wanted to come here, this is the
Sure.
subdivision. This is the subdivision plat for the original subdivision.
Okay.
Okay, so the town highway goes back, this is the town highway.
Mhm.
And there was an access easement here, there's a temporary cul-de-sac to permit this road to continue onto your property.
Correct.
Okay, when your lot was created, that temporary cul-de-sac was extinguished. That's where the pool is right now.
Okay.
So, if this road had been continued, or had not been, it was never built out, and I don't know.
That cul-de-sac is well on the property.
Yes.
Right, what I'm saying though is right here where this access is right here,
Yeah, no, so that's this stone wall here. Right?
where's
This is your property here.
So this is your property here.
Right, so,
This is-
right, this, yeah, there's a whole stone wall there. So they would still, even if they were on their property, would have to cut over and go into my driveway.
Okay.
'Cause they
Right,
couldn't drive
so,
over
but the
brick
only,
wall.
so the townhouse highway specifications, and under town law, the minimum highway, under our town code, the minimum highway width is 50 feet,
Okay,
okay? Which is what this width is.
okay,
So your driveway is in here, which is, and, you know, the other side of this is
Right.
that line.
mm-hmm, I see what you're
But
saying.
I don't know what,
There's
you
a
know.
brick wall there too. That- Whatever access you
Right.
have would have to be, like I said, right here is where technically our driveway starts.
Correct.
I don't know if that's even 50 feet, because there's a
So-
brick wall on the other side too.
So that's, so.
We built right in
So
between the
that's
brick
what,
wall.
you know, that's what the width is. So that's this width here.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Which you couldn't drive in anyway because of the fire hydrant here.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
it's not, it's a, and again, in a 50-foot right-of-way, the typical road is about 24 feet. So half of it is pavement, and then the other half is for
Okay.
shoulders and drainage.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So,
You ready? All right, so, that being said, can I have a motion, please, to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, folks. All right, so next order of business then would be, can I have a motion to grant or deny the applicant the variance? Now, Barbara, is there actually two variances? Okay, the front yard issue and the setback issue, correct? Okay, so, I am going to make a motion to grant the variance, but I'm going to stipulate a couple of things on the variances. First, where no accessory structure is permitted in the front yard, the applicant is seeking a variance to allow for an 18-foot by 33-foot above-ground oval pool with a deck to be placed in the front yard. Variance number one, whether the benefit can be achieved by any other feasible means, no, it cannot. Does it create any undesirable changes to the neighborhood? No, it does not. Whether the request is substantial, that variance is not. Whether it creates any adverse effects on the environment, it does not. Whether the variance is, difficulty is self-created, yes, it is, but that in and of itself would not be enough for me to deny that variance. Now, with respect to the second variance, where 35 feet to the front yard property line is required, the applicant can provide 3.9 feet for the installation of an 18-foot by 33-foot above-ground oval pool deck, thus requesting a variance of 31.1 feet. On the second variance, I am going to make a motion to approve that variance as well. However, the stipulations would be that the fence would need to be relocated to be on your property, okay? Also, the steps would then need to be relocated so they are not infringing on town property or they don't create the need for a greater variance. Understood? Okay. And also, that if the pool were ever to be removed and replaced with any pool or any other structure, it would need to meet the variance laws at that
the
time.
setbacks, the setbacks.
Setbacks, yes, at that time. So those are my three stipulations for the second variance. Again, now again on the second variance, whether the benefit can be achieved by any other feasible means, no. Undesirable change or character to the neighborhood, no. Is the request substantial? Yes, it is quite substantial. Whether the request would have any adverse effects on the environment, no, it does not. And whether it is self-created, yes, it is. So just to clarify, I've made a motion to approve variance number one, and I've made a motion to approve variance number two with the stipulations that I set forth. Could I have a second, please?
Make a second.
Could I have roll call, please, B?
We have two variances. Can Do we have to rule separately on each one?
Why don't we do you want to do it separately?
It doesn't matter, I just don't know if we have
Doesn't,
to.
I mean, you can vote them together or you can vote them separately. It's the pleasure of the
Okay.
board.
I'll say we'll do them together, and then I agree with chairman.
Yes.
So the answer is yes to what the chairman has requested.
Along with the variances, yes.
Yes, I approved as suggested.
The stipulations, I'm
yes.
sorry.
Yes, with the stipulations set forth.
That's what I meant.
Okay? So if we're all clear, you're free to go.
Thank you very much for your time.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the explanations. All righty. Moving right along. All right, next order of business tonight is appeal number 227764. LaCarrie subdivision seeking an area variance, section 24037 of the district regulations in an R20/40 zoning district, where 40,000 square feet is required. The applicant can provide 30,696 square feet for the construction of a single-family residence on 1.64 acres, thus requesting a variance of 9,304 square feet. The property is located at 39 Middle Bush Road and is identified as tax grid number 615701458871 in the town of Wappinger. Could I have a motion, please open the public hearing?
Motion open to public.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Mr. Roberts, please
So
explain
for
to
the
us.
record,
what
my
you'd
name
like
is
to-
Albert P. Roberts. I'm an attorney, and I am representing both the property owner, Mr. and Mrs. LaCarrie, and K&J Partners, who are the contract vendees for this property. I would also like to distribute some informational maps. Do I give them to B, or can I give them to you? I have 5 copies.
Sure, you can pass them to the board, yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.
So,
The first smaller map shows the location of the property to the nearest water and sewer lines. The second map shows what the subdivision would look like with the smaller lot with the building envelope shown on it. The application is to permit a 2-lot subdivision on a lot that is 1.64 acres. The lot presently contains 3 buildings, 1 single-family residence, 1 building containing 2 one-bedroom apartments, and 1 restaurant building that's presently not occupied. All of these buildings have been in their present configuration and layout since as early as the 1950s. Mr. and Mrs. LaCarrie purchased the property in 1980 and operated the Donino restaurant until 1997. Thereafter, the building was used for various food service and restaurant establishments, most recently Stefano's Restaurant and Gallagher's Deli. As I indicated, the restaurant building has been vacant since May of 2019. The proposal, rather than seek a variance to reopen the restaurant building as another restaurant, the applicant, K&J Partners, seeks to purchase the property and subdivide the parcel into 2 lots. 1 lot containing 4,958 square feet, and the second lot, 3,696 square feet, which is the lot where the restaurant building would be located and ultimately turned down and replaced with a single-family residence. The property, as noted by the chairman, is in an R2040 district, which requires 40,000 square feet unless the property is served by water or sewer municipal services. The present three buildings are each served by a separate well and separate septic system. The proposed new residence will be served by the well and septic that has served the restaurant for the last many years. If the variance is approved, the health department will recertify the use of the well and septic for the use of the new residential building. This will be done during the planning board subdivision process if your board approves the variance. While it has been the town's stated intention that the core area of the town, including this property, would be served by sewer. In fact, it was promised that it would be done many years ago. The sewer lines have not been extended to this area, and the closest sewer line is approximately 500 feet away. It would be cost prohibitive to construct a sewer line along county road and town roads to that property. Thus, a formal sewer boundary extension would have to be adopted by the town. It would include tri-municipal, and it's just cost prohibitive for one lot, one house. Ultimately, this proposal will bring this land into conformance with the town's present zoning code by eliminating the non-conforming restaurant building. The petition for this variance addresses all the standards and requirements the board must address for this variance. First and foremost, the character of the neighborhood and nearby properties will not change one iota. The variance is needed in order to create a lot that does not meet the technical minimum requirements, but this would only be temporary until the town extends water and sewer lines, which, as has previously been stated, have been promised by the town. Without a variance, the property owner will be required to apply for a use variance to continue to allow the restaurant building to be used as a restaurant or similar use. Next, the zoning code requires 40,000 square feet unless water or sewer service is provided to the new lot. If water or sewer is provided, then the lot size is reduced to 30,000 square feet, and the proposed new lot will be 30,696 square feet. While it is 9,304 square feet less than the minimum requirement, but that is less than 25% of the required amount, and clearly within this board's purview to grant this variance. The physical, environmental conditions in the neighborhood will not be impacted at all. The new residential structure will be entirely consistent in size, scope, and design of the surrounding properties. Technically, this is self-created, but that's not an impediment to your board's action, and this is only so because the property has been in its present configuration with the present buildings on it for in excess of 65 years, and prior to the town's adoption of either subdivision or zoning regulations. Again, once water or sewer is provided, and we hope it's going to be in the near future, that these lots will conform. And the property is unique in the sense that it has been in this existence for over 65 years. It was that way when Mr. and Mrs. LeCarry bought it in 1980. I personally remember the butcher shop there in front of the school in many years past. However, the town has not provided the sewer as it has promised. There are technical difficulties with it, but we are hoping that this will be resolved in the very near future. In conclusion, this proposed application is a win-win for all, for the town because it will ultimately bring this property into conformance, and for the property owner and the applicant. And I've given you the maps to give you some idea of its location and the surrounding properties.
Sure.
Are there any questions?
No, we were out there on Saturday. Whoever marked it out did a good job of that. You could see, exactly where all the corners were and what everything was going on. So it was pretty straightforward, Mr. Roberts. I don't have any additional questions for Mr. Roberts unless anybody else does.
I had a question, Al, about the water, the closest water source, is that on the school property?
Yeah, there's a long story to that, Tom.
We'll take the short version.
The school, I think, has had water and sewer provided by the village from the 40s, when the town first, or the village first got sewer. When the town got together with the village and town at Poughkeepsie to do both water and sewer, there was an arrangement between the village and the town regarding overlapping properties that were in each other's district. And in this case, the town actually bills the school district for benefit units for water and sewer, but it's actually provided through the village system. And that's pursuant to a contract adopted back in the, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s.
And that's gonna be the source of the,
No, the water would most probably, as I remember the plans, and Jim might be able to assist in this, would be coming down Middle Bush Road.
yeah. Doe Trail.
But, and I also want to point out that this property is one, for us old timers, what was called the Big District, when they put the trunk line for the original municipal interconnection, and that line went down Myers Corners Road, cut over by what was Stop and Shop, and that BJ's is, and down. And all those properties in the core area were included in the, what we call the Big District, and these properties were paying benefit assessments.
Thank you.
Yeah, one other question. After our review, this goes to the planning board.
Oh, yes, yes.
And prior to their approval, they will have to see approved sewer and septic, is that correct?
Well, what will happen, there's an existing septic system that was relatively recently renovated, and an existing well, and these two systems will have to be further approved for use for the residential development, and we're have every bit of confidence that they'll be oversized, if anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a simple question. I think one of the members brought it up when we were out there the other day. Was there a reason that the lot wasn't just divided in half?
Divided in half?
Yeah, so-
Because of the lot layout, sir. That's why I showed you the larger map. I mean, we can probably move the line a little bit to the west, but then you're going to be encroaching on the existing driveway and
It was
facilities.
just a question that was brought up, I believe, when we were out there. We were wondering why it wasn't just divided 50-50. So you had two lots the same size, but
Excuse me.
It's
if the
because.
driveway was gonna then be encroached, or there was
Yeah,
gonna be a problem
yeah,
moving
yeah,
something with septic,
exactly.
or understood 100%.
It's because of the existing
Why don't you come up, Kyle? This is
Yes, please.
Kyle
Thank you.
Lawrence. He's a representative of the applicant.
Sure.
It was drawn out that way because of the existing driveway, rather than going 50-50.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? All right, can I have a motion, and please close the public.
So-
Oh, we have one more.
With respect to the width of lot one, it looks like a variance is required for minimum lot width.
I read that and I didn't think so when I looked at your dimensional regulations.
You need 125 feet lot width. And the survey showing 97.09, and the bulk
table showing, what's that,
89 feet, because the frontage is on an angle.
I thought it was less than that for our,
So
30.
it's very confusing.
yeah, because it's an R
So-
2040.
Right, R 2040, and then minimum lot width, says C note 1.
As I read the regulations, it did not require a frontage variance.
So,
If it does, I would like to amend the application to include
sure.
that.
So the minimum lot area is 40,000, so it's 125.
On an R 2040?
Yes, because you don't actually have the R30 yet, because you neither have water nor sewer. I mean, if you had.
Well, if it
water,
was R20, it would still
it'd
be.
be 125.
It would still be, it would be 100. So,
Right, but he doesn't have,
no, I know.
and
So-
even if you had water or sewer, it would be 115. If you had one or the other.
No, it's 100.
No,
Oh,
if you
if you
had,
had one or
if you
the
had
other.
one or the other, you'd need 115.
Right. So,
We have, as I'm reading it, 155 and 9709.
Right, and the 9709 is
Is in
sufficient.
conformance with the R30, which we don't.
No, well, so you don't really have R30 yet, because you never have water or sewer. And even R20 would require 100, so you don't have 100, you have 97.
Okay. Can I amend the application to include that, please?
Sure, we'll make it a second variance.
Okay, so we need, to be clear, right, so we need a variance for lot as well, as area. And what would the variance be?
so they can provide 89 where 125 is required.
And
So
provide
it would be
89.
36.
It says 97. Where-
97, right?
Yeah, that
97.
number's wrong.
97.09?
Is that-
That's wrong, we gotta go by this. The
97.
typo in the bulk reg. So it's 28.
So they can provide 97.
97.09.
Well, the only problem is this is at an angle,
Right, but here it's 97.
but again, it's not square. So
What number you wanna
use the 89.
use?
Well, I mean, it's, if you did the Pythagorean theorem,
It is still parallel.
Here you want.
Alright,
Parallel,
pick
so
a
it doesn't
number.
matter.
89.
All right, we're gonna use
Right.
89.
All right, so we're gonna use 89 can be provided where 125 is required.
Jim,
So the
I-
variance would then be,
I don't understand that at all, because the map that I have by the surveyor, in my opinion, shows 97.09.
but it's not square to the sideline. It's at an angle, so it's not square, it's more of a trapezoid. So if you ran a perpendicular from the sideline, it would actually be shorter than the 97. So the 89 may...
Jim, I have to differ, because it's the dimensions that control as shown on the map.
Yeah, you know, but so the minimum, our minimum lot width is measured at the narrowest point of the lot. And it's measured perpendicular to the lines. So the 97 that's shown there is not, it's not actually 90 degrees. The sideline is 4 degrees, 40 minutes, and the front yard line is 78 degrees. So it's less, it's
it's 97.
greater than a 90-degree angle.
Right, I get it.
I take exception, but for the sake of going forward, I will.
I don't know if anybody has a scale.
This is better.
No. But I totally get what you're saying. But, all right, so we're gonna say 89 is the lot, actual lot width. The applicant, the applicant provide 89, where 125 is required, thus a variance of
36 feet.
36 feet.
36 feet.
36 feet?
Oh, so why isn't that?
Okay,
So why?
so we can amend that tonight. Got it.
And then there's one other issue with respect to the existing 2.5-story house, well, actually, with respect to Lot 2, just in general. So right now, so under our code, our code permits one single-family residence per lot. So this proposed configuration is a legally existing non-conforming use.
That's correct, the whole thing is.
The whole thing is. So, just for the record, should either one of those structures be destroyed for whatever reason, only one can remain.
If they're destroyed to the extent of 50% or
Right.
more. Yes, we understand that.
So it's a non-conforming use, and, you know, it would not be permitted to continue. And so right now, the building closest to the road on Lot 2 is 32 feet from the road, but it's a non-conforming structure anyway.
It was-
So no variance is being issued for that.
For that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, if there are no further comments from the audience or the board, I will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, could I have a motion then, please, to grant or deny the applicant 2 variances? Right? I'll make a motion to grant the applicant the variances. Whereas, I'll read them separately, okay? Where 40,000 square feet is required, the applicant can provide 30,696 square feet for the construction of a single-family residence on 1.64 acres, thus requesting a variance of 9,304 square feet. Where the benefit can be achieved by any other feasible means, I don't believe so. Does it create?
On to that issue, I think what needs to be inserted in with respect to that is the applicant has demonstrated that it's not feasible to provide public water or sewer to the property.
Okay, got it. Well, whether the variance would create any undesirable change to or detriment to the nearby properties, no, I think it actually will enhance it. Whether the request is substantial, no, I don't believe it is. Whether the request will have any adverse effects on the environment, no, it will not. Whether the difficulty is self-created, yes, it is, however, not enough to have me change my decision. So, should we vote on each one separately? All right, then, can I have a second, please, to
second.
grant the applicant? We have a second?
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So
I think we
moved.
have to vote.
Roll call, right? Roll call, please.
Yeah, is it yes to both? Is that how we're
One.
doing
Now we're doing one.
No, we're doing one.
This is just one.
There's
Oh,
one so
but-
far, yeah, we're gonna do the next one.
it? Okay,
So this is for the lot size.
it's the lot size, okay, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. All right, so variance number 1 has been granted. As far as variance number 2 is concerned, where, let's see, the frontage, right, would be required 125 feet. The applicant can provide 89 feet.
That's minimum lot width.
Minimum lot width.
Right.
All right, the applicant can provide 89 feet, so a variance of 36 feet. I vote to approve that variance as well. I don't believe that the benefit can be achieved by any other feasible means. Certainly doesn't create any undesirable change to the nearby properties. Whether the request is substantial, I don't believe it is. There will be no adverse effects on the environment, and the difficulty is self-created. However, again, not enough for me to change my decision. So then again, I vote yes for the second variance. Could I have a second?
I will second that.
All right, so I have a roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. All right, so Mr. Roberts,
you.
both your variances have been granted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Good luck.
All right, gang. All right, we're gonna move on. All right, next order of business tonight, appeal number 227765, Samuel V. Dawson, seeking an area variance section 24037 of the district regulations in an R15 zoning district where 30 feet to the rear property line is required. The applicant can provide 8 feet for the legalization of a freestanding 20 by 20 deck, thus requesting a variance of 22 feet. The property is located at 8 Kretsch Circle and is identified as tax grid number 615601482749 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion, please, open public hearing?
Motion open the public.
Can I have a second?
Second.
So moved. Mr. Dawson, for the benefit of the board, anybody else listening in, just a brief description of what you need and why you need it.
I'm asking for a variance as stated here. It starts with the fact that my entire backyard is a slope of about 20 degrees from one end to the other, and I had a need to create a horizontal surface for my two little grandchildren, 3 and 5. So I did get some amount of conversation locally, and as well as Google, I was under the misapprehension that 6 feet was originally the setback, and now in the process of applying, regularizing this, I had constructed this myself, not being able to engage a more professional person. And almost as I completed it, there's a little bit of handrail construction left, but that was the day I was served with the stopwork. And as I continued to progress this matter, I was made aware that the setback was grossly deficient, and therefore I continued to do all the procedures. And I guess it's a relatively uncomplicated, it's very simple, straight and forward compared to the other cases. So that's where it stands. I'm just requesting that.
Gotcha. So we roll out, take a look at what you got there. A couple of things, right? Your sketch is very nice. You did a very, very good job with that. However, some of the dimensions did not add up when we were there, nor does it really accurately show the distance you have from the existing deck to your property line. So unfortunately, the board really cannot rule on this because we don't have really accurate measurements from your deck to your property line. So what the board is going to need or ask you to do is you're going to have a survey done of at a minimum anyway. You don't have to have the whole property surveyed, so it's important you understand that because that gets expensive, right? You just need a survey that would then locate your rear property line and then would also locate the distance of the deck to that property line. That way we would have an accurate understanding of what the distance is and the variance that you really need.
Understand.
See, if we were to guess, and we're not going to do that anyway, but if what we rule on is not accurate, it's only going to cause you pain and hardship somewhere else down the road, as well as us. So you're going to need to get that done, And again, it's just the rear property line and the dimension from the deck to the property line, not an entire survey.
Understand, yeah.
Yeah, so that would definitely, it's going to save you some angst.
I was under the, agreed, I'm not the expert here, but the fence runs over there,
Yes.
right there, the rear fence, I guess it's been there for a long time, but,
Right.
well,
Again, we more than likely, right, that fence is probably on the property line or very close to it.
Right.
But again, not really seeing that on any kind of a survey, we're guessing. And that would do you an injustice, as well as us. So we're gonna ask you to do that. So what we'll do is we are going to adjourn this public hearing. And we're gonna adjourn to give you some time and opportunity to do that. We're gonna adjourn this to a meeting in December, I would say, to give you about 30 days. If you're unable to get a survey at that time, just let B know, and we'll have to postpone it or adjourn it, I guess,
no,
again.
I don't think there should be a problem. I mean,
Sure.
I hope there's no shortage of.
They may. So then I need to make a motion to adjourn, right, the public hearing to, what would be the first meeting in December?
December 13th.
Okay, so we are going to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing to the December 13th meeting. Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, so you go get your survey done, let B know when you have it done, and then we'll see you on the 13th, hopefully. Okay?
Just a comment, because it shows 8 feet, which is not really the smallest distance you should show.
Yes,
because of that.
I realized which was,
Right.
that it was not very accurately done,
Yeah.
and it is not square with, parallel with that line.
And only because of that one, they have to republish everything anyway. So we would not able to do it regardless of that.
I understand.
Right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, next item up tonight is the discussion.
Nice shirt.
Thanks. All right, next item, discussion. Appeal number 227766, Peter J. Pavone, seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 40 feet to the rear yard property line is required. The applicant can provide 7 feet for the legalization of a 12-foot by 16-foot gazebo, thus requesting a variance of 33 feet. Where 20 feet to the side right property line is required, the applicant can provide 8 feet for the legalization of a 12 by 16-foot gazebo, thus requesting a variance of 12 feet. The property is located at 8 Reggie Drive and is identified as tax grid number 62570111569 in the town of Wappinger.
Hi,
Name and address,
I'm Peter
please.
Pavone. I'm
Gotcha.
the owner who lives at that property.
Gotcha. So here's a brief description of what you need and why you need it.
Okay, my property is a corner lot, which means I have 35 feet from the front.
Seems to be a common theme
Then my
tonight.
other side front. And at the time, I had a swimming pool, 15 by 32 swimming pool, and I had a shed. And I had seen this gazebo across the river that I wanted, I loved, but I couldn't afford. Took pictures of it, and then I found that the only place that I could really put it would be in the back corner of the lot. Now, I have a lot of arborvitae, very tall arborvitae that surround most of my property, and that's where I had built it. And I made the wrong assumption that 5 foot from each side would be okay, and which I'm sure happens a lot. And, you know, I gave it a couple of extra feet that I thought.
You thought?
I
Very
thought.
good. So you built this yourself?
Yes, I built it myself, with the aid of my wife. She was my foreman.
She was your foreman, yeah. She was your pointer.
Yeah.
So if you just judge by the pictures, it's very nice.
Oh, thank you. Susan, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Dale. She was out there because I had put up a pool, inflatable pool.
Yes.
She went, and on her final inspection of that, I told her, I showed her the gazebo, and she looked at it, and she was impressed. But she said, "Oh, you can't move this," you know. So that's a little bit more information. I don't know if that makes any difference.
The 7 feet you have called out.
Pardon?
The 7 feet.
I have hearing aids, so
Okay.
you can hear me good, but I can't hear you too.
The dimension, yeah, the 7 feet, is that accurate? Is that to a property line that's known, or?
I had the property surveyed when I put the fence in. Okay, I have a fence all around the property. And so I measured from the fence. Okay, is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's your survey.
So we know where the property line is, right? Do we know? at this
Yes,
point?
yeah,
Okay,
that's where I had submitted, that was the survey that I had done when I had put the fence up.
So the fence is on your property, so it's probably 7 feet plus a little bit of change.
I'm sorry.
It sounds like you have 7 feet plus maybe a couple extra inches, is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And the 8 foot is about the same. I use tape measure from the fence to the side of it, back side.
What we usually do is we do a site visit to your home, so we can come take a look at what you got and see your nice gazebo. And we'll do that on, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, which would be, so November 5th.
Okay.
November 5th at approximately 9 o'clock, we'll come to your home.
Okay.
And we'll take a look. It'd be great if you'll be there.
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay, so 11/5 at 9 o'clock will be a site visit. And then what we will also do is we will schedule a public hearing for you for the following Tuesday.
Okay.
Was that election?
Oh, yeah, election day.
Election day. All right, so we will have a public hearing for you on the 9th, on November 9th.
Okay. I got that on the, you circled the dates when you gave me that. Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So we'll do this. So we'll schedule you for a public hearing on the 9th, and we will be at your home on the 5th for a site visit. And he gets a little sign, B?
Yes, B has.
Right. And so the B has a sign for you. What you'll need to do with that is put it in your front yard,
Okay.
so everybody can see it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, if they go by the front of the house, they can see it. Yeah,
Yes.
they might have trouble with the growth that's around it.
Gotcha. Okay? I think
Okay.
that's it, right, guys? So we'll see you on the 5th.
5th.
Okay, very good.
This is another.
All right, next item on the agenda tonight is appeal number, you're welcome, 227767, area variance. Jason and Mary Gordon seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R40/80 zoning district where no more than 2 accessory structures shall be permitted in any one-family residential district. The applicant has 6 accessory structures, thus requesting a variance to allow for an 8x10 shed, a 10-foot by 36-foot shed, a 12-foot by 40-foot shed row barn, and a 12-foot diameter gazebo to remain. The property is located at 98-116 Dusty Trail and is identified as tax grid number 6057-04744305 in the town of Wappinger. Mr. Gordon, how are you this evening?
I'm good, how are you guys?
All right. I'm glad, thanks for hanging in through everything.
Thanks for you guys.
Yeah, we've seen you here before, right? We've been to the property when you had solar panels that you had to approve, but for everybody's benefit, just a quick description of what you need and why you need it.
Okay. So yeah, the property, you guys have been there, obviously, it's just about 19 acres. 2 of the structures were there back in '04 when I bought the property, the gazebo and the shed, the 12 by 10, I think it was. The
8 by 10.
The 8 by 10, I'm sorry. They were there when I bought the property. I guess that was missed on the first municipal search when I bought it, so we're just looking to get them legalized because obviously Susan has brought that to our attention that that's not correct. We are selling the property, so that's why a lot of this stuff has come up.
Gotcha.
And we are actually closing on Friday, so I'm trying to do this for the buyers and trying to give them good faith here that this is going to be taken care of. So with that said, the 2 barns in the back were put in for horses. My wife had horses there, and I knew they weren't permitted, so that was my own doing. I did know that they were well within the setbacks and they're off the right-of-way of Central Hudson. But anyway, we're just looking to try to see if, with the acreage we have and the huge amount of setbacks that we currently have, if it would be something you guys would permit us to do, or allow us to do. So
Gotcha.
that's why we're here.
Gotcha. Now, of course, we usually do a site visit, and we usually do it the Saturday before the meeting. Would that be an issue for you, that Saturday?
It's an issue for me because I'm not scheduled to be here that day.
Gotcha.
My wife will not be here either. She's moving to Florida. And the buyers have no idea what they're doing with this. So Al Capelli did mention to me that he might be able to make the meeting if I can't be there. I do need to verify that with him.
Sure.
if that's okay with you guys as well.
Yeah, I'd be fine with meeting Al out there. You know, we know Al quite well.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously helped us. I jokingly blame Al Capelli for this, because we were looking to, if we weren't gonna sell, we were gonna renovate the garage and do some work to it. And last year, I'd given Al a check for, like, I forget what the fee was, $375 or whatever. And I said, let's get the variance in, you know? And he was busy and never did. So I jokingly blamed him for this, and it never got done, so.
We'll be sure to tell him.
Yeah,
When we
exactly.
see him, yeah, we'll be sure to tell him.
But I need to verify that with him. I did speak to him yesterday. He
Yeah.
said that he probably could do that, but I need to verify that with him.
Okay, all right, so
Should we
when,
proceed anyway?
yeah. I think what we'll do then, Jason, is we will schedule a site visit for that day.
Okay.
Probably 9:15, 9:30.
Okay.
Let Al know, let B know if Al will make it out there that date or not.
Okay.
If for some reason he's unable to be there,
Yep.
I don't know, maybe we should just go out and take a look ourselves. I mean, we can.
It's totally up to you.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that.
I mean, I can just let the buyers know.
Yeah. Why don't you, we'll do that. Why don't you, first reach out to Al, see if he can meet us there. If not, we'll go anyway and let the purchasers know that we'll be there probably between 9:15 and 9:30. And that would be on,
The 5th.
I wrote this down, would be on the 4th, right?
5.
November 5th,
November 5th.
That's fine with me.
9:30.
Yeah. We'll be there about 9:15, 9:30.
Okay, great.
Okay, man.
I'll
And then,
I'll communicate with you on whether Al's gonna be there or. No, I'll take that. I'll post that now.
because we also want to schedule a public hearing, right? We want to schedule a public hearing for that following Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, right?
Mark your calendars down.
You did tell me that already, didn't you?
And I plan to attend that.
Wednesday, November 9th.
Okay, and that will be November 9th.
I'll plan to be here for that.
Okay, okay, great.
Cool.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you,
see you.
gentlemen.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jason.
Yep.
Thanks, we'll see you. All right, last but not least tonight on the agenda would be appeal number 227768, Hudson Valley Office Furniture, seeking an area variance, section 24029F1 and 24029F1D of district regulations in an SC zoning district where no more than one wall sign per business is permitted. The applicant can provide 2 wall signs, thus requesting a variance to allow for a second wall sign. Where no more than 100 square feet of a wall sign is permitted, the applicant is seeking a total of 204 square feet of signage, thus requesting a variance of 104 square feet. The property is located at 1404 Route 9 and is identified as tax grid number 615002707773 in the town of Wappinger.
Hello.
Name, please.
My name's Nancy Forrest. I'm with GNS Group, representing Hudson Valley Office Furniture.
Gotcha. So you give us a brief description of what you need and why you need it.
Yes, these 2 very large stores are now being taken over by Hudson Valley Office Furniture. They are located right now in both Poughkeepsie and Newburgh. They're closing down those and taking over this building. As you can see, it's actually 2 of the larger stores that had been there. We have entrances on both sides. It's a long span. And so we are requesting what looks appropriate on the building,
Right.
size-wise. It's a large building. To put the 2 wall signs on either end and the logo in the center. And if you look closely on the right door, there's a very small entrance sign too.
Yeah, familiar with the building. Been there for a while. Gotcha. You understand, so Hudson Valley Furniture, you'll be occupying both buildings then?
Yeah, makes sense.
We sell new and pre-owned furniture, which we've done for 40 years. The way the space actually is delineated with the module between the 2 spaces lays out perfectly for us for the pre-owned on one side, the new on the other. So while it's not 2 separate businesses, it's 2 separate, completely different setups the way we're laying it out. So we're going, all out on one side with the new and all, and then the pre-owned side is a little bit more, a just a different look, but certainly it's two separate fields, and as you can see on the, it's pretty evident there, there's a marquee on each one that juts out, which kind of begs for two signs. And what you can't see, I'm not sure which picture you have, but there's a tree right in the middle, so it's not, I can't go in the middle with one sign, because there's a tree that blocks half the people coming from BJ's, kind of defeats the purpose of buying a beautiful sign if everybody comes.
Right. Yeah, you can see that the tree is almost dead center.
Yeah, and they won't let me cut it down because of green space, so.
Right.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, pretty straightforward. You guys, you have any questions to that?
Do we need to go take a look at it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You'll even see the old AC door sign, which is down now, but you can tell from the dirt where it was, you can see AC door, so. Even though the letters are wrong, you can see what it used to say.
Oh, gotcha.
And it'll be over top of both ends, center.
Gotcha.
It
So,
seems appropriate for the layout, but again.
yeah, exactly. You see, even from the drawing or the picture there, what you're up against.
I know it's just a boring sign after all that fun, which is.
Right, the linear footage is extensive, for sure.
Yes, a lot of discussion tonight. All right, so we will do a site visit there as well. We will be there on that Saturday, which would be the 5th, probably about 9:45 or so, maybe a little bit later, somewhere between 9:45 and 10 o'clock. If you're there, great. If you're not, doesn't matter. I mean, we can really see what's going on. Doesn't need a lot of explanation, right? So we can see what you're going on. We will also then schedule a public hearing for you on that following Wednesday, which would be the 9th. And you'll also need to take your sign too. Okay? So then we'll see you on a site visit on the 5th, and we'll do the public hearing on the 9th.
I have a question, is that just
Sure.
one sign? Is that to be posted up on the hill in front of the store, or is that to be down on Route 9?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
What's that? Because they won't see it up there,
Yeah.
down by the pylon sign on the road.
Put it down in front of that little drainage pond down there by the pylon.
Not where the one I've got a call that's hanging upside down facing the ground. There's one for, I think, the Fun Adventures.
By the BJ's?
Up here. And I happened to go to BJ's yesterday, and I'm looking at the white back of it, kind of facing down.
We'll stabilize.
So,
Yeah, I'll give them the right stakes.
Or even put it in the medium, like which, by the sign, like where the pylon is. like
Yeah.
Maybe right in front of it.
Yeah, right in between.
Be there tomorrow, meet the electrician.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. So if there's no further business before this board tonight, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? So moved to be Ms. Aller.
Can I, B, so Pete asked for a motion and